What is up, Pirate Alert Nation? It's your captain, Monkey D. Jones, back with the One Piece Virgin's Egghead Book Club Podcast, Volume 70, covering chapters 691 through 700 of One Piece. Holy shit, folks! It's the final episode of the year, unless you remember, the final volume of Punk Hazard, and we're starting 2026 with the Dressrosa arc. It could not have played out any better. Of course, I'm joined by your co-captain, Aggie V. Rodriguez.
That's right, you might as well call me Homeboy Buggy, because I'm feeling like I'm stepping up to the plate myself. One of the big dogs, head honchos, but we still cutting them. We still dropping these specialized balls on them, you dig what I'm saying?
Was this the reveal that Buggy the Clown is now a warlord of the sea? Had we not known that before, Aggie? This is a hat again. Instead of top of mind, you're so excited you had to bring in your hat.
That's right. Well, I mean, it is what it is, you know? I mean, I feel like sometimes I wake up and I'm the Joker. You know, Buggy, we saw him during the Paramount War. He was kind of falling up. That's basically what my entire life has been, especially the last 10 years, so...
Could we call you the Genius Jester? Aggie, the Genius Jester.
Hey,
does it fit?
See, it's about being cognizant and being attentive and being knowledgeable and looking around and making sure you know your surroundings, because that's how you fall upward. You keep on seeing, where to take your next step, and I think that's where we see Mr. Warlord Buggy. All I'm saying, I mean, who knows? I just seen, allegedly, it was described to me as such towards the end of the volume, so I'm believing it's real. But
it seems real to me. But folks, we're not alone here, because as we promised, every 5 volumes, we will have a guest join the podcast, and he's been hiding backstage, but let's bring him in. It's my neighbor, JJ!
Hey, JJ, hey, turn the music down, JJ. Turn the hey, yeah.
That shit's bumping.
We're doing One Piece. Yeah, here, come in.
Eggy forgot to cover his fucking camera again. He keeps forgetting how to do JJ.
No, he's had to come in the room.
Oh, okay. Oh, now he's here.
I gotta cover up. He might have a warning.
No, he's just extremely close to the camera, and that's what he looks like.
Hey, man, what's up, y'all? It's JJ. Yeah, like that. Yo, like this video, man. What's up? It's JJ.
JJ, I did get a comment last time you were on that said JJ is slipping into Boomhauer at times. Do you have anything to say about that?
You know what I'm saying? That reminds me of my, this rap I like to listen to, man. His name is Lil Yayo, you know what I'm saying? And they call him Boom God, because that's what his guns sound like. But I like Boomhauer though, man. He be getting them girls, and he be driving, man, pull up clean. You feel me? So,
which devil fruit power would Boomhauer have if he was in One Piece? The Talk No Me?
Man, he gotta have the Riz fruit max. I mean, he is like, you feel? He's like 40-something years old. I don't know. He ain't ripped though. He got a little gut hanging up over the belt and everything.
Yeah, he's getting rejected by women at the mall on a daily basis.
Man, he got that cologne fruit, man. I know he be staying smelling way fresh, way clean. And see, they come in the car clean from the outside, it smell clean, everything. See, women, you know what I'm saying? They be like that. You got all his hair, he's smelling all right. You know what I'm saying? He got a little tan going on. So I'm gonna say maybe the cologne, because he gonna keep the right kind of smell for these girls. If that's why he did getting on a different type. You know what I'm saying? But,
so the cologne or cologne as opposed to clone. If people are catching my drift here, JJ, what is your opinion on Virgo in this volume? He goes all, he's all blacked out with hockey. Is that how you feel as a black man? You're just full of hockey all the time?
Man, they've been getting some more brothers in hockey, you feel me? So I've been seeing that, you know what I'm saying? But, man, the way he going off, you feel me? Like, you come at a brother a certain type of way, see, that's why, because he up there, you know what I'm saying? He got that rank, but, and so, he ain't one to play with neither, you know what I'm saying? So, he could be having all this. He could be in the newspaper, man. He could be going with a lot of different things, you feel me? But they coming at him a certain type of way, you're going to stand on that. So, you might think he be acting crazy, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is what he got to put out to the world. That's who he is, so for real.
I agree completely. Do you have any other top of mind thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, man, that boy Law, man, he done punked them moles. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man, the switcheroo. You know what I'm talking about? Woo! See, man, I'm gonna break it down. Hold up, so I'm gonna break it down because they had, man, this boy, he really a clown. Caesar, you know, he thought that he was, you know what I'm saying, holding on to this boy, White
Monet.
Smoke.
Oh, yeah. He thought he had smoker's heart. Yeah.
So he about to cut him, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, but my boy Law, man, he too smooth with it, you feel me? So really, you know, he's like, oh, I didn't lie to him. I just thought maybe he want his girl's heart back, you know what I'm saying? And who does it? We all love having our girl's heart, and we try to treat her right. That boy Caesar, he said, hey, girl, speaking of, you know, I'm the boss, you feel me? I'm your boss, man. So go ahead, nuke this whole joint, because I'm made of gas. So you could gas everybody. I'm still going to be straight, you feel me? So she said, boom, daddy, I got you. You know what I'm saying? That's his bottom bitch for real, you feel me? So he said, boom, daddy, I got you.
Yeah, if she's willing to die for you, she's definitely a bottom bitch.
That's right. And so then, man, she go flip the switch, get them up. But he's still in his mind, I don't know. I mean, he's really on the back foot this whole joint. But he stabs through. He said, oh, smoker, you muff, I'm going to get you still. Stabs his own girl through the heart. And really, I think that's, you know what I'm saying? It's something to think about, because really, that's how it be when you on your back foot, you feel me? You losing everything. You you kind of down and dumps. You get desperate. You think about different things, you know what I'm saying? You just trying to cuss somebody. And it could be those ones you love, you feel me? So think about it, you know what I'm saying? It made me think for a minute. But now that boy Law, he's smooth with the alliance. He's smooth with the game plan, with the tactician type, you know what I'm saying? And but really,
but Law says that he doesn't like bread. You know, I thought you guys loved making bread and eating government cheese.
Well, you know, I mean,
Law wouldn't be invited to the cookout if he hates bread.
I mean, we like getting to the bread, you feel me? I'm talking about that money, but man, I don't know. I mean, we used to have to eat, you know what I'm saying? We had something growing up called sauce switch that I had where, man, you squirt ketchup on a piece of bread, you know what I'm saying? You squirt.
Yeah, Law would say that's disgusting. Somehow he would find that disgusting to just eat ketchup and bread.
So I'm thinking, I mean, I feel it though, because, you know what I'm saying, he worked his way up. Warlord, you feel me? He turning folks on their heads on Punk Hazard. He punking them for real, really. That's what it should, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's Punk Hazard. Yeah, he playing these tactics with the big dogs, you know what I'm saying? He trying to run plays on the big dogs. So
it's
this
called
man right
Punk
here,
Hazard because Law was punking people and not because of Vegapunk. I like that interpretation.
But see, I'm gonna tell you like this though. This is the last thing I can say about him. When he's talking that talk, he's talking about bread, right? And we like that, but it's because when you come from the bottom, he was eating dirt. You know what I'm saying? He was eating bread. He was eating bread, moldy, water. Now, when you're a big dog, steak, shrimp, lobster, beautiful women bringing it out. They're carrying it out on the tops of their boobies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
With contraptions. They're carrying it on their head with sparkling champagne, sparklers coming out of it. But said, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You could be a big dog. You gotta start fitting them shoes. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a big dog and coming back home to eat bread every day. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta demand to find cuts.
So Law's hatred of bread is justified by JJ. You were talking about Caesar stabbing Monet's heart by mistake. And I wanted to and maybe Aggie can come back for this now that I have some real points to make. But thank you, JJ, for your input.
Word. And by the way, you know what I'm saying, inmate number J075534, you know what I'm saying, Des Moines County, you feel me? Hey, bro, man, I ain't did nothing. All right, but y'all I'm out, though.
Yeah, free my man, JJ. But I like that Oda continuously in the story makes it so that people's absolute worst and most despicable character traits are actually necessary for like the fate and destiny of the world. Because if not for Caesar being the most cruel, vindictive piece of shit of all time, Straw Hat Luffy would have just died here on this island. So it was completely necessary for him to be the biggest piece of shit ever to save everybody's lives. And I like that. Like Usopp constantly being a coward often leads to a victory scenario and etc. Every character has their flaws that they turn into a strength.
Absolutely, yeah, it's definitely it's sort of like you could apply something like that maybe to even our daily lives that we're familiar with, where you could have or the boiling frog analogy, right? Like you can kind of get one over on people to a degree, and maybe they get acclimated to a certain thing. But when you're like Caesar and you're just so cartoonishly evil, you're ready to just kill everybody except yourself. To you know, oh well, they're watching this on the snail. They'll send me their paycheck afterwards to order some of this up after they watch you all die. Like just so absolutely brazenly ruthless. Cold-hearted does not even come close to describing it. That's the kind of stuff that sets Luffy off. It's the kind of stuff that gets his own people reconsidering their allegiance. I mean, really, when they're so brainwashed to an extent that, is like, oh, well, this must just be fake.
Caesar Clown could shoot his own man on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose any supporters.
That's where we were at. But, even when, and Caesar starts answering to a big dog, a man who's out on an island somewhere, he's willing to abdicate the throne for, political reasons and disappear for a minute just to keep the peace. Many such cases.
Aggie, now that we've heard from our favorite guest star and his top of mind, what is Aggie's top of mind? We've heard your hat. Do you have like a third opinion?
Well, to a degree I do actually, and this is something that is probably nobody's top of mind really, but there's a reason for this. And maybe you could say maybe me and JJ had some similar opinions of Law's tactical abilities. I think that the fact that we have reached Dressrosa is really something that is very important to me, for the reason that I want to just keep it real. Over the last year and some change that we've been doing this, I've been gifted multiple One Piece video games that all seem to basically come to this point, the Dressrosa point, and I don't even know what that entails because I've allowed myself to be completely separated from any of these gifts, but I'm familiar with that particular location as far as I'm aware, and what I'm thinking of when I see that is, well, obviously there's a lot of exciting things going on. We're getting into emperors. We're getting into, I don't want to say it's about, I'm not trying to.
Say everything you got to say.
Okay. Well, we know which emperor. It's revealed in this volume. We know what his big thing is. We know why he is working with Doflamingo. And we know then also concurrently or adjacent to why Doflamingo is so invested in Punk Hazard and wanting to work with Caesar Clown, because it all leads to the benefit of the emperor and his artificial Devil Fruit Zone type army. He's the king of the beasts. That is his emperor subtext. But with all that being said, yes, the fact that this involves approaching Dressrosa, getting into that makes you think, I like to play games, and I like One Piece very much. It's been an incredible, lovely, beautiful journey that I've enjoyed every single second of since I've been on this ride the last, 16 months or so. And the idea that I'm about to be able to play some of these games I was probably gifted a year ago, not be spoiled any longer, is very appealing to me. But I said also it is as an aside as everything that's actually in the volume and where we are leading to, what we're building towards, is very exciting in its own right. But that is, that's when I saw that and I'm like, oh, we're here. It's not just a cutaway and back. We got Caesar Clown and exciting.
Dressrosa arc is definitely a major milestone for a lot of reasons, Aggie. Do you know how long the Naruto manga is?
I know we've spoken about it once, but I do not have it.
It's 700 chapters, Aggie. We have now read all of Naruto, and I think we're only halfway through One Piece. So yeah, we've done a full Naruto. If you would have stuck to your Naruto podcast, you'd almost be done. And another, major milestone of this, and I don't think this is a spoiler to say this, but Dressrosa is by far the longest arc we've read in the story. So, would you like to predict how many months we will be in Dressrosa on this podcast?
I guess maybe I'll start my bidding at 10 weeks. Let's say 12 weeks. I'll say 12 weeks.
Change it back to 10.
10, okay.
Good guess, Aggie. So yeah, we've done all of Naruto, and we're basically at the halfway point of One Piece. And the post time skip hump, in my opinion, is over. People bitch about Fishman Island. They bitch about Punk Hazard, undeservedly, in my opinion. But it's only really the anime people who dislike Dressrosa. So I think we're in for a good arc, I'll say. I don't want to influence your opinion too early, too much, since we're only one chapter into it. But
it starts off awfully strong, and I think really this whole volume, I'm sure we could get into it chronologically at some point here, but the fact that really Caesar is subdued in a really an immediate manner from enraging Luffy to such a degree that he hits him with that kind of power.
The Grizzly Magnum. Oops, knocked my own headphones out. And the rubber stayed in my fucking ear. I hate that. Right. God damn, I hate that. Both of them did. Ew. I can't even hear you, but go ahead and talk.
Well, there's something I gotta say to him, but I'll start here. We get the inclination. We already knew about the alliance that was being formed against this emperor. We had our speculation, but we're able to get in here and we're able to start seeing some of Doflamingo's associates. We get introduced to Baby Five and her ability, the arms fruit. We get the Joker, or I should say the Doflamingo crest, something I've seen. I remember Doflamingo was a big thing. Let's see, when was the release date of this again here? 2013 is exactly, because 2013, that's when I was out and I was playing games with these guys on Steam back in the day. Shout out to the Sandbox. That was the group I was playing with. And this was when I was out. I was just getting out of college at the time. And the guys were there was a guy who I played with who was like, Doflamingo was his whole profile. It was his whole character, it was his whole thing. And so I'd see this, and he had like the spray in like Team Fortress 2 or whatever, like he had the crest spray. And so I saw this all the time, and I thought it was cool, but I had no idea what I was even looking at. I thought maybe it was like from a skateboarding company or something. I didn't even know that this was what it was related to. So as I'm reading through even this, and I'm sure much more as it is yet to come, I'm going to be kind of like reliving a little bit of this time in my life, because I was with a guy who was, and I didn't even know what, I thought maybe it was from JoJo or something, because this was also 2013, 2012, I think is when the JoJo anime was coming out, and it was a real big thing at that time as well. So I'm thinking this is from JoJo. Didn't even know it was from One Piece, didn't know anything about One Piece. But now that you have your headphones back, and I was going to say maybe you should let me for Christmas or something. And these weren't that much. Maybe you want to try the over-ear lifestyle.
No, I've got this. My autism will not allow me to podcast with over-ear headphones. I've never been able to do it. I don't know why.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
See, I had a point to make, and then I just lost it, so I'm sure we'll find it later. But
right.
Should we do my top of mind now? Have we covered yours?
I think so.
There's a lot of stuff here, and I got a dark theory from some of these cover stories with Caribou that I don't even know if I can talk about on the Virgin podcast, because the theory is like very dependent on future events, and I don't want to spoil anything. But I'll just put it out there without even explaining it, because this full of spoilers. But this old lady who Caribou robs, and then she's like extremely powerful and fights off a whole army of men on her own by throwing rocks at them. I'm putting it out there. I think she's related to Kaido, because she's introduced in these chapters where we're learning about Kaido. And Eggy, if you go to chapter 693, there's this amazing like cover art. I don't know what you would call it. I wish I had a poster of this. And we see Blackbeard and Shanks in this montage, and they both have like a evil smile, and their eyes are all darkened out. And if you look at the very top left, I think that might be Kaido. Is that our first look at Kaido in this top left little morsel of the montage here? Because we see Big Mom's angry eye in the other side.
Well, I mean, all I see is an open mouth, and I don't know anything about what Kaido looks like. I see a long, voluminous black hair, maybe a mustache, it looks like, along the side there. So that could certainly be. I mean, you know what I really took away from, this is a good picture of it, but also in the reintroduction to some of these supernovas that we get later on in the volume here. That boy Killer looking a little different. You know, what is it? He's looking like he's like a Giga Viking. Like, when did he get this long blonde beard, long blonde hair? His neck looks like he's roided out. I mean, is this my boy Killer right here? This seems like maybe he was like this before, but I don't think I remember this.
I guess the 2-year time skip, he just grew out his hair like we've been doing for the last 2 years or so. But what this tells me is that we learn about Kaido from Kobe in the post Enies Lobby arc, and Oda draws like silhouettes of the emperors, or like a rough estimation. And this tells me here that as of chapter 693, Oda had finalized the actual Kaido design, because it looks nothing like what Kobe was showing us before. And if he has like the design ready, this early in the story, I wonder if he was planning ahead, and Kaido's long lost mom is maybe living on his supposedly favorite island in seclusion, and that would explain why she's so strong. And the thing I can't get into about why I'm so into this right now is she gives these meat pies to Caribou, and I feel like it's just very important that somehow her giving Caribou meat pies means that she is Kaido's mom. It makes sense in my mind, and maybe in a year we can discuss it again.
Well, certainly it could not be that Kaido is using the artificial devil fruits to turn people into some kind of farm animals that could then be breeding and turning and then breeding out animal.
The meat pie is made of people.
Considering all the difficulty that seems to be going into making these into combatants, but I mean, I'm sure there's another reason why Meat and Kaido are united.
And we see homeboy Caribou he's eating some of this meat pie too in I think the final panel, and it does look delicious, so she's got to be a good chef. Why does she not punish Caribou for stealing her jewelry? What an interesting old woman to have so much, like 4 panels of extreme intrigue and then to never hear of her again. I feel like she's got to be way more important than anybody thinks.
Well, if I remember the caption of that particular cover story correctly, I think it said cheap jewelry, so maybe it was just some crap that maybe she was trying to get rid of it, maybe she didn't even want it around. But you know what? Once we're talking about meat pies, you know what it reminds me of is when I sent you that screenshot 2-3 weeks ago or whatever, that there's a English-style meat pie food truck or something down in the city about like 20, 30 minutes south of us, so maybe if there's any relevance in the future with Kaido and the meat pies, maybe it's something we could, maybe a members exclusive. We could go do a meat pie food review real quick on the scene, tied in somehow. But
ask them if Kaido's mom made it.
That's right. Make sure to smash that like button. Drop a comment below if you want to see a members only meat pie review for our beloved Measly crew.
And we actually get a secret, I believe, second Kaido appearance in this volume when there's a silhouette of a guy with big horns, and he says, report this to Jack. I think that might have been Kaido, too. But well, you have no reason to believe that, but I'm just, filling in some holes for Oda here.
Well, we don't have anybody that's quite that horny yet, and maybe Kaido is. I mean, you got to have some drive to be emperor, the drive to grow horns out of your head, that is.
That brings us to everybody's favorite segment, the new members of the channel. And Aggie, do you remember a certain commenter we brought in last week? He thought it was rude of me to compare you to the fat characters, and then he got mad that Oda is a libtard, and he said he's going to quit One Piece.
I believe that was Martyr Loser King. Was that right?
I don't know why I brought that up. It's actually irrelevant, but we do have a new member for the crew. Oh, it's a Martyr Loser King.
Woo! All right. Well, You know what? Obviously, something he saw made him fall in love and appreciate this. So maybe we should just do a congratulatory meat pie consumption just for the culture anyway. I'm driving through by there in a few days when I'm moving things around. So maybe I'll stop by and grab one for each of us. Maybe we can reheat it.
Aggie's really into these meat pies. I say, hey, Martyr, Loser, King, join the crew. What should his designation be? Aggie says, I'm going to go buy a meat pie. What are you talking about?
Well, just because I mentioned it a moment ago, it was relevant a moment ago, and I said members only a moment ago, and so that's what my brain was at. Also, it's getting, it's within a reasonable amount of dinner time. And,
should he be the meat pie chef of the crew, as opposed to the I hate trans people guy of the crew? I think we can all share that title.
What do men who are very manly online, they love meat, right now, I don't think we have a butcher. I don't think we have a butcher, or if there's like a title of somebody that would like a processor of meats, because he could like take, because you got a carcass, you got to know how to do that. Otherwise, you're going to be eating animal feces that's mixed in the meat because you're stabbing everything all crazy. It's going to have liver juice, and you're going to probably die. So we need a butcher / meat processor. This is where my mind is at right now. He's stepping up to the table. We're seeing that, he's a man of conviction. I think that butchers historically are men of conviction. So I'm feeling strong on it. Welcome to the crew, Meter Processor King. Woo!
Imagine you pay to become a member, and then you listen to the newest member-exclusive episode, and they're like talking shit about you. Like he became a member, and then the newest episode was us just saying he shouldn't continue reading the story.
It reminded me of when I bought the Rumble Premium, and it like puts you on the front page, and it was just a bunch of people. They're like, "Oh, you're disgusting. You're a horrible person." And I was like, I thought, isn't this Donald Trump's streaming platform? I thought we all had patriotic views here, but I can't say that certain people should be done to deserve. But I didn't see what they were even getting at. Just because my facial hair is patchy and disturbing to see. I mean, I don't understand what all the beef is about. It is what it is.
You're gonna be haters no matter where we go, Aggie. But for every hater, we have 10 true One Piece fans that have our back. Just like Usopp, we have a crew of 8,000 men ready to strike. But that covers all the top of minds and new members, Aggie. Where should we go next? What's fifth of mind for Aggie?
Well, if we want to talk about the supernovas, we do have a little something going on here, because we had brought up a kids crew in the last volume because he was observing the exhibition of Land of the Dead, which was the gas attack that Caesar's been continuously, spending many chapters sweeping the Punk Hazard Island in. But we get a little bit further information here. I guess come to think of it, maybe if I'm going to be honest with my top of mind, those supernovas and their new alliance does supersede the return of a hero that we've been missing for a while.
Aokiji?
Yeah.
Man, there is so much in these 10 chapters. That's crazy. There is so much information in here. And most of it's just like more running at the beginning.
Yeah. Even though, I don't know, we're being a little, scatterbrained maybe right now, but Aokiji coming and basically locking in this factor of Doflamingo abdicating the Dressrosa throne, abdicating it. And the law put the terms on him, but it was almost like Aokiji kind of brought this secondary enforcement. All of that, just because I like these supernova guys. I'm curious about them, and I like how they are building an alliance just like Law and Luffy, or Law and the Straw Hat Pirates, if you want to say that, in their determination to overthrow an emperor, because I feel like that's great ambition, and that's what I want to see from the worst generation. Right now we have the worst generation in our reality, and they're very ambitious to overthrow these, no good, feeders or eaters or whatever, these people that are just pushing money back and forth and doing nothing for them. I like to see some up-and-comers that are building themselves up, coming together, and are ready to take necessary action. So it resonated with me in that regard.
So you're rooting for the alliance of Killer Kid, Apu, and who else was in there?
Hawkins.
You like Apu a lot, don't you, Aggie?
I do. I like Killer's new transformation, as I mentioned. He's bulked up. He's looking crazy, wild man Viking style. I like that. Kid, we talked about his ruthlessness last volume. That I mean, if you're gonna be, there's really no games here. There's no rules to this. It's power is law, and not to mention that, I ain't talking about Traffy, but I'm saying, might makes right is basically the law of the new world. And, if he's snuffing out any dissent, if Hawkins can do his little mind tricks and figure out if, maybe not every civilian needs to die. Maybe him being part of the Alliance could be actually more beneficial to people's livelihood, just, innocence in the long run. But and obviously this crew is also very strong and maybe should lead to a little concern, because if the Straw Hats and Law are coming into contact with him in a conflicting way, that is a concern as well. But like I said, basically at the end of the day, we got new people, up and comers. They see the system is rotten and they're ready to stake their claim, and I like that a lot. It fires me up as a reader. No matter where this ends up, it's just like, hey, you want to see somebody try their best, go for gold. You don't want any half measures. You want to see somebody just getting together, ready to make some moves. I like that.
Did they say which Yonko they want to, or Emperor they want to chase down?
I don't think it did get mentioned as far as I'm aware, but I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
But we would like to see maybe like Shanks versus the Alliance or something cool like that.
Yeah, and I think in that instance in particular, that could lead to a cool kind of thing of like, all right, because obviously Luffy has a lot of love for Shanks. So if the supernovas are going at him, maybe he would, if it didn't interfere or if it already came afterwards to Law and Luffy's alliance towards Kaido, if they all of a sudden found themselves in an alliance with Shanks against somebody else, that might be fun. Might be maybe not a lot of sense for Law to be on Luffy's side there, but maybe he does something for him in trying to take down Kaido that could garner somewhat of a favor, maybe, that he would help him out here. I'm just spitballing of what could happen in the future, but it's an exciting new world, an exciting new arc, and I am full of excitement.
When we see the little flashback to fill in what Law said to Luffy and Nami, who is in Frankie's body, Luffy says, oh, you want to take down Kaido? Okay, as long as Shanks is not the first one, but my plan is to crush all 4 emperors. Was that shocking to you that Luffy has a plan to take down Shanks one day?
I mean, really nothing can, to hear it is like something to note for sure. Yeah, I mean, no doubt about that, since Shanks was so integral in him getting to where he is today. But if he wants to be king of the pirates, I mean, it is something that's going to have to happen. Really, nobody can be above him. And maybe when we say take him down, maybe that just means he's going to, maybe he'll surrender, probably not. But hey, who could say? They do have a history that he would be willing to become, Luffy's subordinate in the future when he's king of the pirates. Yeah.
Well, let's get Eggy's prediction. Will we have a Luffy versus Shanks fight? Like a real fight in the future of the story?
I mean, I think it has to happen. Unless something else comes up that would take Shanks out of the equation. But considering where we're at right now and what Luffy's goals are to become king of the pirates in the future, I mean, it's not that it has to be a fight to the death necessarily, as I kind of mentioned a minute ago. But, I mean, Shanks isn't going to just hand it over. I mean, he's going to definitely need to test Luffy's abilities, his strength, and everything where he's at to and I think that would be
chop off Luffy's arm to, pay him back for the fish.
It's just out of a respect of like, oh, hey, you came this far, you've done this much. I mean, he should just be willing to honor him in the same way where we had between Zoro and
Mihawk.
Yeah, for some reason I was calling Mikule instead of Dracula.
You thinking of the guy from the One Piece movie that Zoro had the Mihawk moment with?
But as a warrior, and same thing as we also throughout this volume, we have this through thread with Kinemon and Momonosuke, yeah, and their culture we had some of that, in the last one, but it still continues on here as we get to save Kinemon from what seemed to be certain death, but thankfully not so much.
Yeah, what's the
little taste?
What's the deal? The land of the dead creates a thick shell, and the cure is just to break it. And Caesar assumed nobody would be able to go back to break them, because if you touch the gas, you're dead yourself. So, I mean, it seems pretty easily curable once the gas itself has dispersed. They just crack everybody open like an egg.
Yeah, or you could just use ranged weaponry like Usopp, perhaps, if you need to have a little bit of distance on him. But then also, as they do mention, it's if nobody does break them out within a certain time frame, which was not too long, they would eventually just succumb to this. But
does that piss you off though, that Oda, he kills all these people with gas in the last 3 volumes, and then last second, no, they're all fine?
It wasn't anger. It was maybe a little bit of a side-eyeing, perhaps.
God, you fucking bastard. I guess all the dudes who give the thumbs up for Tashigi, I'm glad that they survived, I guess.
Yeah, but we've had real death has become less taboo as we go through, of the last, dozen volumes or so. It's been, it's not anything unusual to suppose, but just because we need Kinemon to, tell us about where he was going, and we need some more information about Wano, and then it's kind of like, oh, yeah, all right, well, we'll get him at least. And I don't know if they'll end up getting the whole island or not, or if that was described. I don't recall that off the top of my head, but...
Well, Eggy, speaking of, we're getting used to death in One Piece, we did get confirmation in this volume that Ace actually is dead. Would you like to talk about that? That's kind of a major thing we haven't mentioned yet.
Yes. I probably could have supposed it at this point, the fact that we're getting that cover story with the grave and really many other reasons. Nothing's come up at all to make you suppose any different. But our most powerful of the 7 warlords, would you agree? Mr. Doflamingo, even though he's not a warlord anymore now at the end of this volume, but seems to be the top dog, the most connected man, both to the highest up and the lowest of the dirty dogs, getting that money by any means. He is completely certain that Luffy is going to come to him. And why is that? Because he is in possession of that which was once Ace's, the flame or fire. It's flame fruit, isn't it? Yeah, maybe like marrow. I don't know the Japanese, but flame is probably correct. Yeah, because Akainu had the like magma or something along those lines.
So, do we think Luffy is going to recover this his brother's devil fruit? And maybe somebody on the crew will eat it.
Well, that would be pretty nifty. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's off the top of my head. I'm like, is this the most? I guess just for me at a glance, it didn't seem to me like to be like the most pressing, most pertinent reason why Luffy would have to go fight him. I think just everything that he's done so far, the status which he has, the connections which he has, the power that he's had. There's many reasons why Luffy should want to encounter Doflamingo and fight him, whatever else. Anyway, I feel like I didn't feel like the flame fruit would necessarily need to be like the 5-alarm kind of moment to really just have him lock in. But with that being said, obviously Luffy is very loved his brother to the maximum, grieved severely to have lost him, and I'm sure anything that which was Ace's could very well be a very large draw to him. And if somebody were to take it, I mean, I guess maybe I would feel like almost that Sanji perhaps could be the most deserving, because his flambe kicks and all that, his attacks seem to be having that fiery element to them all the same. And so maybe then he could also say that he doesn't need it because he's already got enough momentum that he can get a scorching hot kick just with his own strength. But that would be where my mind would go if I were to suppose something like that. But at least I think he would probably want to get it out of Doflamingo's possession, something that he could treasure it for Ace's memory and kind of keep it sacred.
Would it be better if ultimately one of Doflamingo's men eats it and Luffy has to fight somebody who has his brother's power?
I think it is a very real possibility because these artificial zone types, I'm sure that it'll certainly enhance a man with no abilities for sure, but I think that for a captivating Dressrosa fight with either with somebody that's affiliated with Doflamingo when everybody is heading that direction, I think that it would be in their best interest. And I would think hopefully at this point that they wouldn't underestimate the Straw Hat crew as some have done. They might be willing to just go ahead and, but they need to use it as bait, obviously, but within reason, within a certain time frame, throw it down the hatch and flame it up like a lit match.
Okay, we covered the devil fruit. Where do we go next, Aggie? And at some point we need to put Punk Hazard on the tier list as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, no. Off that point, we're getting a lot in the last few volumes about devil fruit reincarnation, because we saw Smiley, the axolotl slime monster. He died, and then we see a nearby fruit got transformed into the reincarnated devil fruit. And we see further evidence of that with the existence of Ace's fruit here. And Aggie, big theory time. Last time I checked, Monet had some sort of, harpy, snow, devil fruit. That bitch is dead. And I also seem to recall somebody has a ship full of tangerines. I wonder if one of those could be turned into a devil fruit. Is Monet's harpy fruit on the Thousand Sunny right now, and they don't even know it?
Well, she did seem awfully dead, I'm not gonna lie. When he's stabbing that hard, she is falls down at the altar. And even if she was alive, I'm guessing that if there's any gas further encroaching, that would probably solidify her demise. And let's suppose that in fact her snow fruit or whatever was on the Thousand Sunny, and also that we're going to be coming into contact with Doflamingo, who has the flame fruit in his possession. Maybe
Nami's like this weather witch. Shouldn't she get this harpy snow power? Wouldn't that be cool if Nami had those wings and all that? That'd be sexy as hell.
I do agree. And I'm thinking of this almost in like a Pokemon manner, where it's like, okay, if we have a fire type and an ice type that are basically becoming up for grabs for some of our non-devil fruited individuals, I think it'd also be funny if as I suppose perhaps Sanji with his fiery type kick attacks, and then Nami with her weather powers that she's been exhibiting, and maybe the snow fruit could kind of play into that. It would be funny for them to be two polar opposites when they've already kind of had a tumultuous interpersonal relationship to begin with, kind of hot and cold as it were. I think it would be a funny matching there. I could definitely see it. I definitely can. It's a lot to suppose right now, I still feel like, because they already have plenty of power in their abilities. We definitely see Nami and Usopp here exhibiting incredible abilities, and they're fighting versus Baby 5 and Buffalo.
There's a quote I might need to read. Nami and Usopp say, "I'm not afraid of an enemy at long distance with no will to fight, especially when they're wounded and have their backs to us." Like they're so proud that they're capable of killing a retreating enemy.
That's fair, very fair. But I mean, also at the same time, these are,
the grown-up Kabuto. You don't want to fuck with that thing. It's got like a mouth on it. It's alive.
And I was just reading about Kabuto recently because one man in America or something is buying every Kabuto Pokemon card, trying to artificially drive it up to extremely high prices.
I don't know if he's artificially changing prices. I think he's just a big fan of the card, right? You think he's doing it maliciously to make money?
Well, it was probably a hater that was bringing the information to me, so it's hard for me to really say without looking into it.
And
But,
isn't that
I mean,
the whole
for what
news
it's
media
worth,
is that
though-
they always have to give their bias, their slant on just some cold hard facts, and they present it to the American public so that they get that incorrect disposition on any subject? But go ahead.
Yeah, trying to gatekeep. As dishonorable as this attack might have been, considering the reasons you mentioned, I mean, still, these have been, not the strongest members of the crew. And Baby 5 and Buffalo, these are, top brass for the top warlord of the entire sea. So I feel like, there's something to be said there that they were able to do enough to take them down in any capacity.
Yeah, they had to get Caesar back, so I'm not actually shitting on them. It's like I was saying earlier, sometimes your worst qualities are absolutely necessary for the fate of the universe, and I guess their ability to attack people retreating is important. Aggie, did you get any Wapol vibes in Caesar's fight with Luffy? When he's about to be obliterated with this big punch, he, just like Wapol, he tries to make a deal with Luffy at the very last second. But where Wapol was saying, wait, you can be co-king with me, Caesar just says, wait, you can work for me. He offers Luffy a subordinate position to not get punched. I like that, and I think there's another parallel, because Caesar and Wapol, they both ate these fruits that give them the ability to create these unique materials, the Wapol metal, the SAD. So I wonder what Oda is doing here with having like a double parallel with these characters right there.
Well, now that Wapol's been out of the story for a bit, we had his little cover story and everything. I think the groundwork, the blueprint was there for Wapol to have this sort of utility that we're seeing Caesar have, even in a total death of Punk Hazard, if it's totally destroyed. So long as that he's alive, he's able to perform this particular function that he can, that is then going to benefit Doflamingo by benefiting Kaido. I guess there just wasn't really so maybe the idea was prior that Wapol had these elements, but there wasn't anything feasible to develop off of that other than this cover story where he's, having this comeback off of making his money, yada yada. Nothing really canonically tangible to bring him further in. But maybe as he was doing that and creating the cover story, maybe he had thought to himself, in the future, there's maybe somebody whose devil fruit powers could provide this tangible material benefit to somebody in the world, the way that Wapol does in this cover story. Maybe this could then be worked into the story canonically, and so although the parallels are there, maybe it was more of just an expansion on this previous ideal that he had kind of formulated, maybe by accident, I don't know, because the cover story did come a bit after the it would have been just as fine wrapped up, as it were, with him being shot off into space and the people on Drum Island kind of coming about their new leadership. That would have all been fine, in a vacuum, I think is the turn of phrase I'm looking for. But then he did choose to expound upon it through the cover story, and then maybe by doing so, he's thinking to himself, this could work in this way as well.
Maybe there will be even a third character with a similar trajectory, and then Wapol and Caesar and him will team up in the final arc. Who can say? It just stuck out to me that he had a very similar final moment in the fight, like trying to make a deal with Luffy, who is doing like the exact same finishing move, like pulling back his arm super far and then just blasting him. So big parallel for some reason. We don't know why. We finally get to see what Momo looks like in human form. Were you impressed?
I want to say yes, because, he's a child. It reminds me of that, viral video from New York City where the African-American man walks up to that young Hasidic boy. Man, that's messed up what they be doing to y'all, man, giving y'all that cut, because he's got, like, the friar tuck, kind of like, the top of his head shaved, kind of like how Momonosuke is here. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Maybe if you have to feel the shame of being bald from like 3 years old, and not even just fully bald, 'cause you have a shaved head and you could like rock with that, but having like this totally bald on top and like long ponytail thing going on, maybe there's something culturally speaking to it. I wouldn't know, but perhaps that could get you in a certain kind of mindset. Maybe you're not focused on the superficial. You know, you're focused on more of an inward kind of strength and concentration. You're not getting caught up in your own appearance. You're like, okay, hey, I look like a 50-year-old man from 3 years old. It is what it is.
In Wano, they give you some rough barbershop trips as a child, I suppose. But
I enjoy the little subplot or little event here of
takes a
Momo.
bath with Nico Robin. Yeah, I was pissed. That son of a bitch. Why can't I be an 8-year-old boy?
Yeah, Sanji just having a conniption about, and then he's sleeping in between Nico and Nami, like in bed, and just all snoozed out, snored out.
People have a problem with this, that the 8-year-old boy is like greedily slurping up those titties and like he knows what he's doing, and I don't know. When you were 8, were you horny for titties like that? Is Oda being a bit of a sicko here?
I would say that I was not probably formally introduced at that time. I think I used to think that women had penises. I think at that time, I couldn't comprehend that anybody would have anything else. I was like, well, I mean, how are you gonna?
Yeah, how would they pee?
What else could you have? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I slightly enjoy the gag of all the perverts on the crew being jealous of Momo, but he's
I would imagine. Yeah, it probably anything pre-teenager, you're probably not really feeling any type of way about that still.
Anything else about Momo here? And I just got like a weird cramp in my side and back that is like horrible agony, so I'm trying to make that go away as we're talking, but well, I don't know what happened. That's terrible. Ooh. Nothing else about Momo?
I don't think so. I appreciated he's a respectable young boy.
I don't know about that.
Well, okay. Well, I know what we're talking about. As far as the samurai culture, I a lot of kids, maybe I'm thinking I'm putting too much of our own reality into the mix here, but all these kids nowadays, they're looking at their tablets and whatever else, and I see a young man who's very in tune with his culture. He's got a dedication and a resolve. They're trying to feed him. He hasn't eaten for 10 days, and they're ready to put this food right in front of him, and he's so honorable even at this age that he just won't even take a bite until his father is like literally like just chowing down right in front of him, like, yes, please eat, son, please eat, we're okay, it's okay, we owe them this gratitude, please. And I mean, that's just like a next level kind of resilience. I feel like that's how I felt.
Yeah, I can't go one day without eating. Like, I'll think, maybe today I'll do my 24-hour fast. Never happens. And Momo's been going 10 days strong. He's got Sanji's cooking right in front of him, and he's still refusing it.
Yeah, I can hardly go through a night's sleep without waking up to eat, so, it is what it is.
Got, like, a big thing of popcorn right next to the bed. You can just reach into the tub.
They had this on the clearance rack, truffle salt popcorn, about a month ago, and, $1 a bag when it was normally $5. I was like, hey, give it here.
Okay, I'm seeing in my notes we've made a big mistake, Aggie. This should have been my top of mind. And speaking of Martyr Loser King, I think we have a new literally Aggie character in the story. Because Homeboy Buffalo, he just wants to get the mission done so he can go to the casino, baby. And Aggie, I'm about to make a joke that only the most sad and degenerate people on this planet could possibly enjoy. Okay. Can you guess which casino game Buffalo might enjoy the most?
Buffalo!
Buffalo! I might have to actually edit in that for all the non-degenerates out there who don't know about the Buffalo slot machine.
Yeah, well, because I've played the very, very original, what's that, Real Action? That's REL Action. I think that's the first one. What is it? Like the 30 credits. 5 reels. It's been a little minute since I played that very original one, but even that very original one, it had the Buffalo sound effect for the Buffalo lines, as I recall.
Is the man who screamed Buffalo still alive? Can we find him and get him on the podcast and just have him yell Buffalo over and over again?
Yeah, so Aristocrat Gaming, as I recall, is the company that owns the rights to the Buffalo slot machines. And the thing is, a lot of them they try and it's a very replicated one because there'll be these games and it's like Bison King and stuff, and they come in there and they'll be like Buffalo. It's like that particular soundbite is trademarked, but people have tried to they try to replicate it, or they'll be like, let's go, or whatever, like different types of ways to try to emulate it and get people's attention that like the Buffalo games. Or if somebody just hit like a grand jackpot or whatever and they want to play another game, they think it's not going to pay anymore. But that is very funny. I didn't even put the connection together. And also how he's got the spin fruit and you're spinning the slot.
Yeah. Do you think the Buffalo machine exists in Japan? Like, is Oda literally making a Buffalo joke with this guy who's obsessed with the casino?
Well, I could say this much. I know for a fact that it definitely did exist when this was written. So there's that much to say about it. I think it was I think the brand might have started maybe in the mid 2000s.
I know there's a lot of Konami slot machines. That's Japan, right? So
Yep.
That connection makes sense in my brain. I think 100% Oda knows the stupid slot machine game, and that's why he named this character. So is that your next cosplay? You're going to be Buffalo, I'll be Baby 5?
Well, I could. I know my buffaloes, so I think it certainly is a possibility. He's got a fun look to him. I think I could kind of make a face like what his face looks like. So, yeah, I'm feeling
it. Baby 5. I think Oda made the biggest writing mistake in One Piece history here in chapter 694, because Baby 5 can transform her body into different weapons, and at one point she becomes Missile Girl. And Oda, I know you're a fan of Boba Bo. And the most iconic character other than Boba Bo and Don Patch just might be Torpedo Girl. Come on, Oda. You can't just have a little reference for me to enjoy. Why does she have to be Missile Girl? She looks like Torpedo Girl the way you drew her. Just change the word to make me happy. It would have been a sick reference.
Yeah, extremely on point reproduction here for that look for her. I was definitely thinking about that when I I was hoping maybe they would, because all she does is just go and detonate. I hope maybe they would have a little bit of the Torpedo Girl swag in their little flair, maybe blowing a little heart kiss or something, just a little fan service, but yeah.
And I don't know if this is, I don't remember if this is in the manga, but in the anime, there is a Naruto reference at one point when Luffy asks a ninja to do the shadow clone jutsu. So One Piece is capable of directly referencing other manga. Like, come on, Oda. Can you go back in time and rewrite that scene to be Torpedo Girl, please?
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel like, fortunately, the movie lore, the video game lore, it might be a little removed, but you know what we could do? That game that we both love, what was that thing called again?
Grand Battle 2?
Well, that fighting game that has like the 1,000 characters, we watch people play it on. Didn't Tom play that?
Yeah, Tom Walker was playing that. What is that called? It's like a 4-letter name, and you can upload any character to fight.
Yeah.
Tom Walker, Twitch, fighting game.
Oh, Mugen, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So, okay. I mean, I don't know, because I guess Torpedo Girl's already her own thing, but at least there's something here. We could make Baby 5 in Mugen and give her some, some characters, some life, some love, some animations. We have ways. Okay, there's methods. We could fan patch a video game or something, maybe. Who knows? I'm not gonna, ever say never to anything there, but
what do you think of Baby 5's personality, that she will get weak in the knees for any man who claims to need her, and like some ugly old freak proposes marriage out of nowhere, she'll say yes, and then Doflamingo has to murder him and his entire city to keep his woman?
A very heartwarming concept that I like to resemble. So, I mean, just be yourself, just be there, be attending to your woman's needs. And maybe if you happen to be old and with several obvious negative qualities at a huge scale, really your love and your good-hearted nature will just shine through, perhaps. Yeah.
I think she might have some sort of mental illness, Eggy.
She's the inverse of our nice lady friend over at Thriller Bark, where she's she's trying to propose to every guy.
Oh, Lola.
Yeah, Lola's trying to propose to every guy, whereas Baby 5, she's not going out of her way. She gets proposed to.
Yeah. She'll say yes to anybody. So maybe Lola should propose to Baby 5, and we'll get some lesbian action going.
Hey, you know what? New Comma Land, they'll accept it. It's a progressive place to be.
Oh, speaking of which, I think we got more evidence that Nami is bisexual. Chapter 696, Nami blushes thinking of Tashigi and says, I have a weakness for powerful stares from lady sailors. Could Nami's adopted mom, not Nojiko, what's the name of her dead mom? Bellamere. Is it like, God, who's that fucking psychologist who thinks everybody wants to fuck their parents? Freud. Is this some Freudian shit where she wants to fuck lady sailors now?
I mean, what I would say it as, if I wanted to do a little psychoanalyzing, is, she suffered so terribly as an orphan. She suffered so terribly under the Arlong pirates, that there was this comforting element to her mother's memory, that I feel like it's not even a sexual thing, but it's just sort of like a reprieve from having to be on edge. And I guess that was in the movie. That was in the manga, where they're going to surface and she's like taking a shower or whatever, and immediately they're getting caught in the maelstrom, and it's destroyed. I think she's just so overwhelmed in a way that it's a breather right here. The children are going to be cared for. Tashigi has these elements that trigger certain things in my memory that are comforting. The situation of the children, that they're now in care other than our own, and also are well, and we were able to do this successfully, as a comforting thing. I think that's what kind of like overwhelmed her. That's how I read it as, in a way.
But wouldn't it be better if there was a love triangle of Nami, Tashigi, and Zoro? And they both, like, I guess Zoro's being tsundere, like he pretends he doesn't want that bitch, but we all know he does because of his childhood. I mean, I want to.
Namshiki is a hot OTP. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I've never seen anybody talk about that, but let's start shipping Nami and Tashigi. I could see that at the end of the game if Luffy doesn't end up with Nami, since he's asexual, which is his superpower. And I'm not even joking. Future chapters will reveal that Luffy can only be successful because he's asexual, and I love that.
Well, I think he's like many great men who I've known. He's really got more of a love for the cuisine than the feminine. Okay, but speaking of which, also at 696, Law's like, all right, we just handled the situation. They're going to be after us. We really need to get out of here right away. And then there's these huge multiple panels of let's all just get drunk and constantly just pig out, and we're all dancing. And Law's like, oh.
And there's a big party between the pirates and the Marines. And I'm wondering G5. Is this going to be the end of One Piece? Is another big party where all the Marines and pirates can come together, not as enemies?
Well, if we're talking about Straw Hats being the kings of the pirates and how they have generally had a morally righteous nature, perhaps, all things considered, at least, especially compared to their peers, and the goodness of the Navy also being dubious and more so to just furthering their own ends and the ends of the world government, I think there's definitely enough gray area, certainly, for there to be more of this in the future. And we really get that with the exchange here between, as the Navy is ready to take the children into their care, the children are like, oh, the Straw Hat Pirates, oh, you saved us, yours. And the Navy's like, oh, stop saying that, they're evil. They're evil, they're the worst, the scum of the earth. Meanwhile, G5 is made out of, like, the most unemployable, awful, like terrible.
They torture people for fun.
Completely unruly and, literally just worse moral character than the Straw Hats have ever exhibited. But, it gets to a point, it's kind of like a fever pitch where they're like, God, and they're ready to basically give the children a little bit of the belt, a little backhand, like, don't you ever let those pirates.
I think they started shooting guns at the children. Did I misread that panel?
Well, it more like warning shots, right?
It's like, Jesus Christ, the kids.
No.
And they're just giving the same sentiment that you're thinking in your head, motherfucker. Like, you all love the Straw Hats.
So I was thankful that that is then put to the paper as like, well, I guess so. Well, yeah, I guess they were awesome, but the pirates are bad, but I guess they were really awesome.
They have like a brain aneurysm. They can't handle the contradiction.
Yeah, I don't want to say that they're simple-minded in G5, but yeah, I think they're a little bit. Their first instinct is just start shooting anybody that makes them feel at all disagreed with.
And that's probably why Virgo could so easily manipulate all those people, because they were just brain dead to begin with. Unlike the people in our world's military, they're all the bravest, smartest heroes of all, and not just people who got tricked in high school into thinking their college would be paid for if they survive getting shot 40 times.
I've really enjoyed as much lately the dialogue. It's been kind of, I think TikTok has kind of sprung a leak that there's a bunch of people on there that post that they go and they serve like the minimal amount possible, and then they go to like the VA and claim 100% disability, like I was paralyzed mentally from this combat, so I can never work again.
From basic training.
I need 100%. And there's surprisingly, because people comment on these posts and be like, oh, well, you know, my husband got shot 10 times and he only gets like $10 a month in benefits. But there's people out there like just raking in like six figures just purely off of military disability. And they have like methods. They're posting like, all right, here's what you need to say. Here's what you need to do to lie to get, you know, the maximum amount of welfare from the military each month. And then it's all combined with this show you might have heard of, Financial Audit, where he tends to get people with military backgrounds on there. They're like, oh, I'm $1 million in debt. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm doing all this, like making all this money online, but I don't report any of it because I just tell them I'm 100% disabled, and they send me all this money. Like, people just go on and just admit this and don't even think that they're just screwing their entire lives over. It's pretty crazy. But obviously, salute our homeland heroes who protect us. We love them all so much. I'm just saying.
Everybody in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, ICE, of course. Anybody who is authoritarian to the government. You're my hero. And not just because you have a gun and you could shoot me and nobody would give a fuck. And the world would move on like it never happened. Aokiji is so strong, Doflamingo is so strong, he breaks out of Aokiji's ice, Iggy. Oh my god, not even Robin could do that, and we all know how strong Robin is.
He's literally flying through the sky. I mean,
what's your theory on that? Because so far, what do we think? He has, like, puppet powers? How is he flying?
I have to imagine that this feathered... whatever this is, I don't think it's a cape. I think I've seen a picture, but I don't even know what this garment is called. It's like, I think Hugh Hefner wore something like this, like around him, like at his mansion or something. I don't even know what you call this thing. It's like because it's not a robe, it's like a shoulder dress or something. But I would have to imagine that has either some kind of technological component or some kind of enchantment or something. Because it does not play into what his devil powers are, or his devil fruit powers, as far as I can tell. So.
Hopefully we'll get an answer to that sooner than later. Because if I recall, somebody in Alabasta, I think it might have been Pell, somebody said there's only 5 devil fruits that give you the power to fly. And we see Buffalo and Doflamingo seemingly flying just in this volume alone. So if his cloak has like a devil fruit power, is that one of the 5?
Well, I think with Buffalo, there might be an argument to be made that he could propel himself, perhaps, with the spinning. Maybe there's something there.
And believe it or not, most One Piece fans would not give that the grace that you just did. People bitch and moan and never realize, hey, maybe people could utilize their powers to fly in ways that are not explicitly within the power of the fruit. And maybe Pell was correct after all.
Well, and I don't know, because I feel like there's a panel that shows Doflamingo flying, and he's kind of like assuming an aerodynamic position, like with his arms to his sides. But maybe there could be something said that maybe he could literally puppet like the air currents. You know, maybe I'm not scientifically literate enough to know how that might go, but maybe he's like kind of like just doing something like this, like pushing himself up over the water by like grabbing onto the air somehow or something.
It could be, and I don't even remember when we find out the answer, so it might literally be months from now, but should we put Punk Hazard on the tier list, Iggy?
Yes, I don't know if I have. Let's see here. All right, this is from October, so I might have a couple in the mix here.
All you'd be missing is probably Fishman Island.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's about right.
What are you thinking, Aggie? You know, S tier, A tier, a B tier, C tier?
I'm feeling A tier, I think, on Punk Hazard.
I agree.
Because it's it's a real taste of the new world. It has so much to it that we're learning. Very emotionally compelling. With what was taking place on the island, what these people are being subjected to, what these children are being subjected to, the children being abducted, the corruption in G5, meeting up with Law, the Alliance, everything to do with Caesar Clown, him having these black market brokers who are complicit in just buying these murderous technologies.
The Straw Hats change personalities and are in each other's bodies. Smoker and Tashigi are back and having furthering their character arcs. We got fucking like centaur people. Law's powers giving men the legs of alligators. It's bursting with One Piece creativity. An island that's half ice and half fiery volcanoes. It's got a lot more going for it than Orange Town, I suppose.
Yeah, right. I think if I'm looking at my list correctly here, I think I'm going to put this above Thriller Bark and A tier.
So below Jaya and above Thriller Bark. Okay. And I'm also doing A tier for this one. And I'm going to be placing it after Barati and above the post-war arc. So right in the middle of my A tier here. Because it is a lot of fun. Even if it's a lot of running that I don't care for, at least it supported the story enough that, okay, we're dealing with the dangerous nuclear bomb gas guy, so we have to outrun his dangerous experiment. Yeah. But too much running for me, and Caesar, his character just being viciously evil and wanting to hurt his own men over and over and over and over and over. Maybe cut out a few of those scenes. Got a little repetitive for me, but otherwise, I had a lot of fun. I don't like the Yeti Cool Brothers either. Maybe we could figure out what their deal was one day.
Maybe if I go look them up, maybe they're in one of those games from around the time as some kind of... They're probably in like a support role or something in Burning Blood, if I were to look.
Oh, yeah.
Where all the people that only get mentioned once or very minimally and then never talked about again end up in the 50 support classes or whatever.
Anything else from this volume now that we've covered the tier list, Aggie?
Well, I just like... I don't know. We get... Aokiji comes back. He freezes Doflamingo, but not all the way, so he breaks out.
He's got a big penguin.
Yeah.
And his penguin's name was Camel, I believe.
He's like falling asleep while like covered in snow or something. He's if he sticks around and gets some extra panel time, I love my animal characters. I think he's got a real shot. What we get from him to start is it's cute, it's endearing.
And Otis said in the SBS, if you called Camel cute to his face, he would attack you. So I appreciate that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall if Camel is ever seen again.
Well, I hope. I mean, hey, it is what it is. There's always going to be a spot for cute animal characters for me to enjoy. But if he's definitely caught my attention. If he comes back in the future, we'll be waiting on him.
While we're doing ships, I'm going to ship Camel with Lashes. I think Endgame they'll end up together. If you remember who Lashes is, folks at home.
I do.
Yeah, I know you do, Aggie. Of course I do. Hey, we're doing the Thriller Bark character tier list for members only, probably next week or sometime this month. And we did the first 3 One Piece movies last month, so those are waiting for you if you want to become a member. Should we plug anything else, Aggie?
Well, I guess one last thing is, maybe we talked about it a little bit, but the fact that Kinemon, with everything that happened to him, he had some shipmates on his travels, and they were looking for a place called Zoo, right? Or Zhao? I'm not sure how you'd want to pronounce it.
I call it Zoe.
Zoe. So that's where he was headed. And they ended up on Dressrosa, and that's
And homeboy
where
Conjuro heroically sacrificed himself so that Kinemon could escape. Now, hopefully, we'll find Conjuro on Dressrosa. Everybody's got like their own little mission. They want to find the sad factory or whatever it was and destroy it. And now maybe Luffy will be trying to get his brother's devil fruit. There's so many pathways that this arc can go, and we're only one chapter into it.
Yep, I am. And we have Doflamingo and his sort of four. So maybe maybe we're gonna have some extra casino themes. We had Alabasta, we had Crocodile, and him having that casino over there. We have Buffalo spinning in with his slot handles.
Yeah, because the thrones were the different spade and heart, stuff from the cards. And
Yep.
What's Dofi's name? Joker?
That's right.
The Joker.
Wild card, that's right.
He told Lai he's saving the heart throne for him, but Lai doesn't seem to want it. So who was sitting on it before? Virgo?
I'm not sure if I remember, but I think that would be believable enough.
He says to Virgo before he dies, like, you've been my longest ally, and I'm sorry to let you go. That sucks. Poor Virgo. He didn't deserve all that. He just wanted to serve the young master. Hey, the 8-year-old girl that was eating grapes next to Doflamingo, we see the back of her in this, and she says, "Where's the young master?" So even like a literal child is calling Doflamingo the young master.
Well, I guess I don't know how, but I could imagine that he's definitely younger than Big Mama. She looked old, but and Shanks, he's been out here doing his thing for a minute. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know too much about Kaido or the other fourth emperor, but I will say, my first impression of Doflamingo is that he's very, like I said before, well connected, but his cunning is perhaps at a level unseen up to this point. So I'm definitely highly excited for Volume 71 and everything we're going to have with that. As far as my plug goes, I'll just say, make sure to follow at One Egg White on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe over there. We got more things coming on that channel here in the near future. And make sure to follow at 2EggWhite on Twitter. I'm back on Twitter for the first time in many years. I've been getting a lot of my big refollowers with their big 6-digit follower counts and been happy to see me again. So I'm just like Doflamingo, I'm back rubbing shoulders and working my way back up through the rigmarole once again. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
The lady was really Kaido's mom, guys. I'm serious about this one. You might invest now, folks, because I'm right. And we're going to find out one day that Kaido's keeping his mom on this island. Okay? You might think I'm stupid now, but just fucking wait. I'm going to look like a genius. The genius jester, you could say. One Piece, people. Could you even hear me when I whisper into the other microphone?
Oh, very much so, yeah.
Okay, good.